I've never encountered a curse this powerful before. Most curses are a load of rubbish, of course, but this is so physical, so real. Talking as we did with Dr. Richter, I couldn't actually believe that so much of this curse is actually being documented. At least, there's some sort of rare disease. Still, I don't believe you'll be able to help us much beyond this information. If we're going to beat this thing, I'm going to have to fight back. I'm going to have to put what I know to practice. This isn't a good thing. There's going to be a price. When you delve into the world beyond this one, there's always a price. This is Red Moon Roleplaying.
You go towards the trunk of your car. There's something there that shouldn't be. That shouldn't be there when you look at the trunk from the outside. There's a smell coming from the car.
I look at Carver. Okay. Do I recognize this smell?
You have smelt this many times before, and you know exactly what to expect to find in the trunk of your car. The question is just, why would that be there?
I look around. Are there people about?
It's very early in the morning. There's no people here that you can see.
Carver, would you mind looking away for a bit?
I frown a little, and then I shrug and look away.
Yeah. I open the trunk.
There's a body in the trunk. The body of your driver. He's pale, obviously, having been dead for a number of days.
I examine the body. I look over. Oh shit. My driver.
I look over immediately now, look at the body, and pretty much take a moment just to catch my breath and not throw up. Like, boo! Fuck! Close the boot!
Now this explains why we weren't picked up. I try to find any signs of why he's dead.
You quickly identify that he has been shot execution style. There's an envelope lying on the body. You know, like one of those envelopes you put greeting cards in.
Huh. I pick it up and I close the trunk. And I open it.
Inside the white envelope, there's a greeting card with a jolly-looking owl on it, waving its wing as if it were a hand. "I'll be seeing you soon," it says. The pun is not so funny given the circumstances.
I stare at it. Just use the back seat for now. For the books, I mean. And I go to... I go to stand by the driver's door and I bring up the card again and I look at it. Oh. This can't be. This can't be.
I frown and I remark, "What do you mean? Does that symbol mean something to you?"
Yeah. I'm afraid it does. But, when I saw my dead driver, I immediately thought it would be your people. I mean, Meyerson's having done this. But, oh shit. I sit down. I open the door and I just sit down in the driver's seat. I open the door for Carver as well.
I put the books down. I go to sit. I quickly check on Jenkins, who should still be in the other back seat, and then I turn to Bjorn. Right. First of all, we need to get rid of this body. Now, we can't... The last thing we want in this situation we're in is to be arrested and put in prison for God knows how many months. We are fucked if that happens. Do you understand?
I know.
And I don't. Do you know people who can help with this sort of thing? I mean, you had a gun. I'm assuming you know people.
There are several ways of doing this. Some will take more time than others. Easiest way would probably be the cemetery, and to use an already opened grave. But that would probably have to be saved for the next night.
Just sigh and go, let's just get some sleep.
We got the Schloss Park Hotel just 5 minutes away. That's where we're going.
The Schloss Park Hotel is a yellow brick building. Do you arrange separate rooms or do you share?
Separate.
It's early when you arrive, so the cleaning staff is active, cleaning all the rooms as you're heading towards yours. You get into your rooms. They're carpeted and nice.
I remarked to Bjorn before going, burying bodies in graveyards is all nice and all, but don't you know people? You've got money. I'm sorry to be making such assumptions about you so suddenly, but we're in that sort of situation. Is there no one you can call to just make it go away or something? I don't know.
In this case, I'm afraid money is not really an option. My company is being investigated. It'll just cost too much and it will draw attention. It's better that I do this myself.
Alright, I'll trust you to take care of it. Okay, and then I just go to my room.
Bjorn, what do you do?
I look over the room and I look outside. Just a normal check.
Nothing out of the ordinary. You see your car down there.
And then I start thinking about ways of getting rid of this.
You sit there and you consider your options. And you feel very, very tired. And this is the same for you as well, Carver. Do you do anything before collapsing in your bed?
As much as I'd like to, no I don't. I just make sure all the books I've collected are now secure in a sort of bag type thing I'd managed to gather from Magda's, and I just fall asleep.
I'm taking off all these clothes, Carver's clothes that I borrowed, and I get to the shower before heading off to bed.
You notice the marks on your body, the purplish spots, and you get back to your bed and you fall asleep. You are dreaming again. Nightmares. Burning, searing pain cutting through you. Diffuse, vague shapes are tormenting you. You sense that you've seen them somewhere, but you cannot remember exactly. There's a high-pitched sound, unbearably high, like a dentist's drill, but amplified 1,000,000 times. It brings with it pain so intense that the agony makes everything else disappear in the dream. You're awake again. Look at the clock, it's about 11 in the morning. You didn't get many hours. The sheets are soaking in sweat. The dream starts to fade and you can only vaguely recall it. You feel absolutely exhausted. The lack of sleep is really starting to make itself felt now. You will both take -1 ongoing on all your rolls from now on.
I just wake up in my room, swear a little under my breath, and start assessing the situation and thinking of what I'm going to do today. I get dressed immediately. I know I'm sweaty and disgusting. I don't really care at this point. And as soon as I'm ready, head out of my room and go to knock on Bjorn's door.
Very good. Bjorn, what are you doing?
I'm getting up. I'm putting on my shoulder holster and my gun and my clothes. And getting ready.
There's a knock on your door.
I come to and I open it to see him there.
Bjorn, you're awake. Good. I step in. I take a moment to wipe my face, sweaty, tired, And I remark, okay. Tell me what you think. Here's how I see it. First, we need to go to a shop called Mantra. There's some things I need. We might find some information there as well. Then today, ideally, we're going to need to go to this bar. That's where I last met this Japanese associate of mine. I don't have his contact details, you see. He contacted me. But it's a bar he frequents almost all the time. It's where I met him. He mentioned it's where he likes to do most of his work. I don't know why. And then after that, well, hopefully then your plan can come into action, yes?
Right. Yeah, we'll save that until the early hours. I look very distracted. But yeah, what's the name of this bar?
Kuniyoshi.
Kuniyoshi. All right. Okay. Yeah. So a cult, bookshop, bar, other things. Got it.
Yes. I feel for the moment this is something at least we can deal with reasonably immediately. Also, well, this business with the owl symbol. I'd hate to pry into people's personal matters, believe me, but we're at a stage where that sort of thing could be vital. Who are these people you suddenly now think are involved as well?
This is not people. This is a guy. This is it's an old acquaintance. Well, then, yeah, you obviously see the lovely circumstances under which we parted. He's not supposed to be here, and he's not gonna care about whatever you do. So don't you worry. But he might wanna have a chat with me. Yeah.
I see. I just nod. And then I go, so, what did you think of the plan?
Yeah, it's good. And put some food and coffee in there, and we'll be on our way.
Good. And I start to exit the room, and does this hotel have like a breakfast area or a dining room or something like that? Yeah. I start heading down there, mainly to grab something to eat, not just for myself, but also for Jenkins, who I know has been outside in the car for the last 4 or 5 hours by himself, bless.
I kind of wish that I had a vodka yesterday, I think to myself. And then we go down and find something to eat.
You find something to eat. It feels good to get some food, but it doesn't do anything for the exhaustion. You still feel as tired. So you're heading for the bookshop Mantra next.
In the car, I strike up conversation. Look, I'm not really too eager to get back to Hamburg, but I guess that's where we might be headed eventually. Your place is shot up, and my place is burnt, with most likely 3 burnt bodies found there in my apartment, and more than likely found with fair bits of lead in them.
The car phone rings.
Oh, right. I pick up the phone. This is Björn.
Björn, are you alive? We were so worried. I'm sorry, this is Handelman speaking. What happened? According to the fire department, it was a gas explosion.
Yeah, that's right. We had a very unfortunate gas explosion. I was very, very lucky to get out in time. Me and my associate Carver, we had been working through the night trying to catalog the books when it happened, and we just hit the fire escape, and we had some urgent business in Berlin the next day, so we decided that we might as well head there for the rest of the night.
Well, I'm very happy to hear that you are okay. The apartment is written in the company's name, and the insurance people are at the scene now. Hopefully we'll be able to recover some of the values lost in the fire. Although I'm afraid that many of the things in there might not be possible to replace. I'm also sad to tell you, by the way, that one of the dead found at the scene was your concierge, Herman.
Oh, no, not Herman, no. What, did he succumb to the fire then?
That seems to have been what happened, yes. Difficult to tell without a more thorough autopsy.
Of course.
Hoping they will tell us he was very, very loyal man and
Yeah, he was great. I'm really sorry to hear that. Look, we still have some business to settle here in Berlin. Will you have a place for us when we come back?
I will be able to arrange a very good hotel room for you, and as we look for something better. Again, our funds are a little bit locked right now. The Economic Crimes Authority are still at it. They still haven't found anything.
Why should they?
But things have really ground to a halt here. I hope your business in Berlin is going well, and call me whenever you need something.
Thanks a lot, Handelman. We'll keep in touch. Good news, Carver. Gas explosion. That's the story.
I frown a little and go, and of course all the books.
Yes, of course, all the books.
That's an irreplaceable collection. It's books that are hundreds of years old.
Oh, I just sort of wince and rub my nose. I hadn't even thought about that till now. Oh my god. Such bloody worth. Got in fucking flames.
So, you arrive at Mantra.
I take in a deep breath. I go over to Jenkins as I exit the car. I check on him. How's he doing? Did he enjoy the little breakfast I got him?
He did.
I don't know what it is, but something about him always makes me just for a moment feel slightly more stable, even at times like this. I turn to Bjorn. You don't really need to come in if you don't want to, but up to you.
I noticed at the front of the window how I've slipped the condolence card there. How it just has been lying there for a while, and yeah, I got good. Let me stay here and let me finish writing this. I'll find somewhere to post this as well, and then if you're still in there, I'll come in. How's that?
Sounds good to me. I nod and I just immediately start to head into the bookshop.
Yes. The bookshop Mantra, it's located on an adjacent street to Franklinstrasse. Mantra is a bookshop that's half a stair down and has a small insignificant sign. When you get inside, though, the interior is much larger, consisting of 2 floors with a maze of bookshelves. You know the owner, Erica Holler, who is a short, thin woman with a black-haired crew cut and heavy makeup. She's in a wheelchair, and she sees you as you enter. Carver! She stares at you with wide-open eyes. You're reminded again that you've never seen her blinking.
Miss Holler. It's been a while. How are you?
Excellent, Carver. Excellent. What can I help you with today?
I step over, looking over some of the merchandise available, and then I remark a few things. Firstly, I'm wondering if you've got any of the supplements I require, herbal-wise, for a simple... I pause for a moment. A very simple ritual of awakening.
Of course. Of course. Anything else?
I know this sounds a bit silly as well, but any spare copies of, things like Defense Against Maleficarum or Defensium Nefiosa, things of various safety rituals and all that. I haven't really looked at some of those for a while.
Is it vampires?
God, I wish.
What is it then?
You familiar with the works of Philip Kramer?
Kramer, that man is that man's a monster. Although I did find his book fairly interesting. Why are you looking into the Russians, Carver? You must have gotten yourself into some really deep shit if you're asking about them.
You know how I feel about all this. There's a reason I haven't seen you for a long time. Ever since that incident last year where I had to get involved with the police.
There are risks. There are risks. There are definitely risks if you happen to have anything to do with those Russians. I mean, way into the dark magic, Satanism, blood sacrifice, you name it.
Well, I'm afraid I feel that I and an associate of mine have become the victims of a curse. A dream curse.
We do actually have a copy of Philip Kramer's book, The Power of Dreams. It's in the same shelf as the other dream books.
I already have it. In fact, I believe that is a ritual I'm going to have to attempt.
Oh, wow. That's a big one. I've looked at it. The incantations that are in there, I would say they're mostly meaningless words that are meant only to focus the caster's energies. But it looks like the real deal, though. Given what I know about Kramer and the stuff that he has done, you might find yourself with a ritual there that will really do what it's supposed to do.
I hope so. I then collect the herbal ingredients I will require for the incense, if you will, that I require for the more simple ritual. I remark, I know what you're thinking. Basically, I've been closing my mind off to all of this for quite a while. I'm going to need this to open it again. You know how it is.
I do. You are always welcome back to the dark side.
Don't say anything to that. I take out my cash from my wallet and I get ready to pay her for the materials.
You should check out Arthur Schoenberg's book on the physiology of curses, by the way. If you are in any way involved with this Kramer fellow, I understand that he has used curses in the past. And this one describes a little bit about what can happen. Let me show you here. So she shows you a passage where it says that curses often take the forms of diseases. And the diseases worsen as the magician performs additional rituals. The curse can only be broken if returned to its original source, the responsible magician, preferably when they are where the curse was originally cast.
Of course. I'll take that as well. I have the money.
Is there anything else you want to ask Erica about?
For now, I collect what I bought, and I just say, Miss Holler, it might be best if anyone comes by that you say you didn't see me.
Of course. Good luck.
Thank you, Miss Holler. And I walk out.
She didn't blink a single time.
I go outside and look around to see what Bjorn's doing.
What is Bjorn doing?
After Carver left, it took me it went quite quick to write down the greeting card. I write in Swedish. Kära Sandra, mamma. Jag är mycket ledsen att jag inte kunnat vara närvarande vid den här svåra tiden. Det är mycket som händer här i det nya Tyskland, som ni vet. Och jag känner att jag måste vara en del av det. Pappa finns alltid med mig, precis som ni båda. Jag hoppas att vi snart kan ses igen på ett sätt eller annat. Men oavsett vilket så har ni hela mitt hjärta. Vänliga hälsningar och kondolenser. Björn. In my most careful handwriting. And I put that in the envelope and do I know this area well?
You know it decently well. You know where you will be able to send this.
Good. I go out and I find a mailbox, and I'm thinking I might slip into a gentleman's clothing store just quickly to just get something that's more appropriate to my style.
Yes, you do. It's in the morning. Stores are open, and doesn't take you terribly long to do this. The shopping at Mantra did take some time, so you're done with your clothes purchases when Carver gets out of there, and you meet up by the car.
I come to him down on the street, wearing a new suit and a coat. New suit, new coat, new driving gloves, and I managed to find a cigar as well.
Wow, you're back to your old self.
Yeah. As good as I can.
You've been busy.
And so have you. Open his door.
I put my things in, and I get into the car. I wait for Bjorn to join me.
Any luck? I open my side and I get in and I take a breath of relief having posted the postcard.
Yes, I have some of the things I need. The only question now, I think to myself, is whether we perform the ritual as soon as possible or not. This is just a small ritual, it doesn't take more than an hour. But obviously we need to do it somewhere like back at the hotel before we check out, I suppose.
Wait, I'm sorry, a ritual? What are we gonna do now?
It's a simple ritual for opening the mind to possibility, if you get my meaning.
Well, you are the one with the books, so...
I remark, then, it's not something you need to do, but you could do it if you wanted. I can't say if it will have any effect on you at all, or...
Well, if, I look a bit unsure about this, and then I just add, well, right, okay, yeah, sure. So you do that. What do you need me to do?
You could just take part. Again, I look a bit concerned. I'm just thinking in terms of defenses. It could help you a little. But it has risks. That's all I'm saying. I have to take them. You don't.
Huh. Well, I'm in your hands at this. I'm not sure. This is not my area of expertise at all. So.
Very well. Very well. Let's just go back for now.
So, you head back to your hotel room.
Excellent. Look around. Have we got a kettle anywhere?
Definitely do.
Right. So, once again, up to you, Bjorn. If you take part in this, it could help you for whatever we encounter in the future. On the other hand, you don't have to.
Well, I suppose I'd rather, take my chances, and I think we're in this already. There's no going back. I take off my new beige summer trench coat and my jacket, and I roll up my sleeves and take off my new brown driving gloves. I look very serious.
I close the windows and start boiling the kettle. I get the herbs I've collected, a mixture of various, by themselves, harmless things, lavenders, incense, that sort of thing, but I begin to mix them and brew the kettle, making a sort of hot tea type substance. I take the hot beverage and I sit down with it, and I cross my legs. I motion to Bjorn to do the same. So as I said, seriously, at this stage, this really isn't something itself that's that bad. It's quite possible absolutely nothing's going to happen to you, Bjorn. Lots of people do this and just hum for 5 hours, you know what I mean? But if you are, in any way, susceptible to this sort of thing, it will open you to it. And that could help defend you in the future. Are you ready?
I give him a nod and a smile that's half jokingly suggesting that, sure, this is fun, this could be interesting.
I remark quietly to him. The reason I've done it is because, as I said, I don't want to be involved with this sort of thing. It's dangerous. But we haven't got a choice. Right. I slowly take a very deep inhalation of the steam now coming from this beverage I've created. As I take it, I then take a slow sip and give it to Bjorn and motion for him to do the same.
I reach for the tea and I take it and I do the same. I breathe in.
I then close my eyes, and for a few moments I'm just silent, just taking in deep breaths, before finally starting to mutter, "Open your mind. See all that can be seen, and all that cannot. Focus on your third eye. and open it. And I don't know what Bjorn feels, but I slowly instill familiar feelings from my past, where I have successfully done this ritual.
Okay. I think my mind wanders a bit to the hawk owl and my past, things that I don't really want to think about, but I try to stay focused and in the moment of this.
And Carver, your third eye does open, as intended, again, and you unlock the advancement enhanced awareness. Let's see if you will have to use it.
I take a sudden, sharp intake of breath as I feel my mind just loosen, just that little. It's not a dramatic thing. It's not like I suddenly feel even that different. It's just that I know I've been actively trying for a while to close that off. And now it's open again. And all the risks that can come with it are back. Perhaps even worse this time, because I know that the more you dabble in this sort of thing, the more it can take you. I open my eyes slowly after a while, and I remark to Bjorn, Bjorn, how do you feel?
I feel a bit tired. But it was kind of nice to, suppose, meditate for a while, because I suppose that's what it turned into for me. Just focusing my thoughts. So I say to Carver, I feel good. I feel relaxed. This was kind of nice. Yeah.
Good. I stand up and I give my head a little rub. Yes, like I said, it's a start. I warn you that from now on, further rituals are going to be worse than that. That was something safe as far as I'm concerned, but I needed to do it. I go to open the curtains. I try to shake myself back. Right. Okay. I suppose I'm ready when you are to start the drive.
Yep, I'm all set for it.
And you begin to drive towards Hamburg.
I call Hans Weber.
So during the trip, you call Hans Weber on the car phone.
This is Weber?
It's Carver.
Carver, have you found it?
I have not found it, as I keep telling you. It is difficult to find. However, I'm going to try and talk with the person I sold it to find out where it might be now.
Can I follow you? I really need to solve this. My family are in danger, and I can't just sit around here in this hotel room just waiting for things to happen. I really feel like I need to be there.
I understand the feeling, Mr. Weber. So, all right. You need to promise, though, that you're gonna hold it in, yes? This is not a situation where we can go into a public place and just start acting crazy. Do you understand?
I understand.
Good. All right. And I give him the address and tell him the time we'll be arriving.
I will be there,
he says, and hangs up the phone. During the car ride, you read the books, and you learn more and more about dream magic and sleep and how it's all connected. It's very fascinating. So much so that all of a sudden you find yourself in Hamburg. You hardly even notice the trip. You notice Jenkins stood up and pressed himself against the window, trying to see what was passing by outside of the car, very, very interested. And the club, or rather the Japanese pub, Kuniyoshi, it's on Reeperbahn, which is Hamburg's infamous red light district. Are you both going to be heading there?
Yeah, considering the things we've been through now and all the violence, I think it might be a good idea for me to accompany Carver while we're in the city. Yeah.
I remark to Bjorn, thanks. Hate to say it, but I have a feeling your skill set might be needed. I'm not exactly the most intimidating person.
Hey, I'm just a businessman used to pushing over the most stubborn of people trying to keep to their money.
I say quite seriously, you killed 3 men in front of me.
And you find yourself outside of Reeperbahn. There's a wall with a sign saying that youth under 18 and women aren't allowed to enter this street as you approach. You already now hear the loud music coming from behind the wall, even though it's still fairly early in the afternoon.
I do. I take a moment to rub my forehead again. I've been having a headache pretty much for the last 3 or 4 hours. This music isn't helping. However, I'm at least starting to feel normalish again.
You go past the wall and you enter Reeperbahn, the red light district of Hamburg. There's neon everywhere here, but it's still light outside, so it looks a little bit less impressive than it must during the nighttime. The smell of tobacco smoke, spilled beer, and urine is the same as it is during the night, though. You see a sign that says Dollhouse that hangs above the street, and there are many doors along it, each leading to different clubs and bars that have names like Pink Palace and Onkel Otto. There's a giant neon guitar with the text Große Freiheit 36 that hangs above one of the most famous clubs on Reeperbahn. The street is filled with people, many of them clearly drunk already. You also see quite a bit of police walking about, keeping the peace. Björn, as you walk there, you see a club marked with a neon sign featuring an opened banana. The club is called Banana Split.
I recognize it, and I remember the name from old papers and instructions.
Indeed. The sign for Kuniyoshi, the Japanese-style pub where you gave Maezawa the book, is in front of you. There's a metal staircase that leads up to the second floor of the brick building that houses the pub. On the first floor is a shop that sells sex toys. Outside of the pub stands a familiar face. Mr. Weber.
Mr. Weber, you made it.
I did. This is where it is?
This is the place. Keeping in mind, it's very possible our man might not even be here. I just know that he's often here.
I, Mr. Weber, up and down. What's this guy look like?
Mr. Weber is a man in his late 50s, I believe, by this point. Very neat haircut, short, but kind of wide. Probably looking very agitated and nervous.
That is how he looks like.
Huh. I reached out my hand and I introduced myself as Nils Goldman.
Mr. Goldman, my name is Hans Weber. Pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Mr. Weber.
Well, shall we? He seems eager.
Yes, let's go. And as I step up the stairs, I remark, have you had any more troubles with Mr. Meyerson?
No, they're still waiting. They're still waiting for the book. Just gotta get the book, Carver. Just gotta get the book.
I know you need the book. Calm down, Weber. Believe it or not, you're not the only one who's in a dire situation.
He looks at you, slightly puzzled. The door to Kuniyoshi is open, just slightly. You don't actually hear any sound coming from here. Very quiet. There's a footprint on the metal staircase right in front of the door. It's a footprint that looks like it's been made in blood. Like someone has stepped there barefoot and left a bloody footprint. What do you do?
Fuck. I very carefully peer into the darkness or into the area.
The lights are off. You can see a light switch, you think.
I'm about to go in and turn on the light switch, but I stop and I just look at Bjorn and go, Bjorn, do you want to take the lead on this?
Are we still out in the street?
You're standing now in front of the door up in the second floor on a metal staircase.
Alright. Shit. Why can't things be simple? I reach for my gun and I enter with it. Drawn.
And it's completely dark in here. You do see the light switch pretty close to the entrance.
I turn it on.
All the lights start flickering, but only one actually comes on properly. The others continue to flicker on and off. You see the inside of this quiet, deserted pub. There's tatami mats, rice paper doors, and low tables, everything looking genuine. Something is different, though. The tables are flipped over, and the rice paper doors ripped to shreds, and the floor is covered in blood. All of it. The tatami mats are completely red. A set of footprints come toward the door from somewhere inside the restaurant. Footprints are small. Either a small man or perhaps a woman. The rest of the floor looks to be undisturbed, as if it's just blood on it, but no footprints.
Any bodies?
No. And no sounds either. It is completely quiet. The lights continue flickering on and off. You hear that's the only sound that you can hear.
I swear under my breath, and then I just take a moment to close my eyes. Just trying to calm myself, and then I just open them again, and if I can, I hope my sixth sense gives me a clue, or leads me in a direction.
Use one of your edges for your sixth sense. The book is where you gave it to Maezawa. At the table. And it so happens that the footprints seem to be coming from where that table was. It's further into the restaurant, and you can't see it from here.
I blink a few times, confused as to how this can be, and I just immediately start heading towards that table in the dark.
I follow him along the side.
As you're walking, the blood and the tatami mat, in places it's small puddles, and you hear your shoes stepping in these puddles as if they were puddles of water splashing a bit. The lights are continuing to flicker. You move into the restaurant, and that is when you hear a rhythmic, almost metallic, gurgling sound coming from over there in one of the booths down that hall in the opposite direction that you're headed towards. The footsteps, of course, continue away from there. The gurgling, it sounds unnatural. It continues rhythmically.
I pause, and then can I observe the situation?
You can. Roll for it.
14.
What do you wish to ask?
What is being hidden from me?
It is obvious to you that where that sound is coming from, there is something that you really should not get close to. It may even be what is responsible for what has happened in here. You need to stay as far away from that as you possibly can. Move quickly and silently in and out.
Am I close to the table?
You move towards the table, and the book is still here. It's opened on a picture of an abstract painting, a surrealistic one. It almost forms a kind of labyrinth. You feel yourself weirdly drawn to the piece as you approach it. You notice that it's made by an artist named Tiffany Reader. Hans Weber moves up to the book. Carver?
Still here, yes?
He holds up a bottle of something that he has opened. You can feel the smell of kerosene. Carver, thank you. This is the final one. He starts dousing the book with the kerosene. You'd better get out of here now, Carver.
Wait.
You better
what-
get out of here fast.
I thought you wanted I thought the man after you wanted the book.
And he lights the book on fire.
I grab Carver and let's go.
I don't have the strength to resist being
You
taken
need to
away.
run
Let
now.
him take me away.
Run! He yells. And you can hear a large crash from where the gurgling was coming. Something is on its way. So you're running. Roll for act under pressure.
11.
12.
12. You run, and you hear Weber coming after you as well. Run, guys, run! I'll be right with you. The loud metallic crashing comes closer and closer. It's going to be here a lot faster than you would have thought. Weber bounces into something you hear, falls into a table violently. You can see him hitting his head. He seems to be out. What do?
I look behind to see what happened.
He seems to be out. He seems to have tripped and fallen, and the crashing sound is coming closer and closer. Are you going to try and save him, or will you go?
I'm afraid I just start running for it.
I hesitate for a moment, and then I decide not to, and I just run as well.
And you run. You run and you run. You get out of the restaurant. You fall down the stairs as the door slams shut behind you. A large crash bounces into the wall. And then silence. And that's when the fire alarm goes off.
You have listened to an episode of Red Moon Roleplaying, where we play the campaign The Black Madonna for the tabletop role-playing game Kult, Divinity Lost. The Black Madonna was originally constructed by Gunilla Jonsson and Mikael Petersen in 1991, with additional material for the 2017 edition by Marco Berman, Matthias Fredriksson, Petter Nallo, and Robin Liljenberg. Kult, Divinity Lost is published by Helmgast. The music was created by Atrium Carceri and is used with permission from their label Cryochamber. Visit cryochamber.bandcamp.com or their YouTube channel to hear more excellent dark ambient. A new episode of Red Moon Roleplaying is released every Friday. Please like our Facebook page and give us comments, input and feedback there. You can also visit us at redmoonroleplaying.com. Finally, a big thank you to all supporters. If you want to show your appreciation and encourage our work, look out for us on Patreon and see if you want to support the show there. While the show will always be free of charge to our listeners, Patreon supporters will have access to extra material, such as a bonus podcast where we answer your questions about the campaign and role-playing games in general. If you just can't wait, you can even get access to the full-length, raw and unedited versions of our gaming sessions way before they are released as finished episodes. Thanks for listening. Looking forward to meeting again next week.